Okay, so today I'm going to do a review of the book, Ego is the Enemy. The Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. Might have heard about this already. It's kind of doing its rounds around the self-development, business development region of the world. It's one of those books that's at the top of the Amazon bestsellers, all of that. Now, for those of you watching on the How to Rap channel, y'all might be thinking, what the fuck does some random self-development book got to do with rap or me as an artist? But hopefully, as you listen to sort of the insights I get out of this book, you'll get something from it. Now, this is a book written by a guy that not only worked directly under as the apprentice of Robert Greene, the writer of 48 Laws of Power, 30 Strategies of War. All y'all rap motherfuckers know about that shit. It's just a big deal. 50th Law with 50. So this is a guy that's already been involved in a lot of the sort of power strategy, power manipulation books that you might have been already familiar with if you're in the hip hop game and know about a few of the books that rappers like to read. Now, he's also worked for American Apparel, that sort of like tight shirt company that was really big for a while and then imploded. And he's worked in ad agencies and done a whole bunch of stuff of manipulating, social conditioning, all that. So this is a young dude. I mean, he's still only like 30 years old. A young dude that knows a lot, been around the block, but still youthful in the way that he does it. But it's very research-based, the way that the 48 Laws of Power and all Robert Greene's books are. So what you're going to be getting out of this book is a lot of, here's an idea, followed by, here's a historical example. And he's going to re-explain it if you already know it. He's going to give you some examples of people that you probably never heard of. Talks about the first major female CEO for the Washington Post and her ups and downs. They blew up the Nixon administration or Watergate. They were big into that, but she wasn't even prepared for it. Going to talk about William Tecumseh Sherman, March to Atlanta, anybody who knows about the Civil War. Talk a little bit about rappers as well. I think there's a Kanye reference in there, and a lot of really cool quotes. Now, this book is one of these books that, you know, you listen to on Audible. I listen to it at 2x on Audible. You can go ahead and read it. The person that recommended it for me read it, you know, literally by hand, but I was able to get a lot out of it just by listening to it on Audible. And really what you're going to get out of this is a new perspective on aspiration. So if you're in your phase of your career where you're still dreaming, where you're still thinking about being on those main stages, where you're still thinking about signing that record deal, there's a whole section about the climb and how to deal with your ego as you're that person who's trying to get up off the block, so to speak. Then they're gonna have a section about success. So let's say you've already had a lot of plays, or you've already had some kind of social media success, done a bunch of shows, but your ego keeps getting in your way. This was a section that was particularly powerful to me because, you know, with all the YouTube subscribers and sort of people being like, you're the rap coach, you started this shit or whatever, it was very easy for me to just, let's just be frank, start sucking my own fucking dick and thinking I was the shit. And I had to like make a lot of mistakes doing that. I had to waste money. I had to burn bridges, even with own students and clients, just thinking like, oh, this is my class. You only learn the way I want to learn, all this kind of stuff. So the success portion is going to be for any of you guys that, or any of you guys and gals that have experienced some success in your career or your life or whatever it is, but you found that things keep going wrong. And usually, as this book will point out, usually has to do with the ego, usually has to do with not being able to step back and be like, okay, I'm not as great as I thought I was. I mean, there's that old quote that you're never as good as they say you are, and you're never as bad as they say you are. So there's a success portion as well. Now, the last portion is failure, which is probably useful to all of us because anybody who's working really hard, we fail all the fucking time. I fail all the time. I don't even know if this fucking video is going to be good. But that's a really useful portion as well. And I like the fact that he does do it at the end because that's part of the cycle. And he talks about that. I mean, you're either aspiring or you're succeeding or you failed and you're trying to bounce back by aspiring. And that's kind of what the book talks about. So you as an artist, somebody, if you're watching for How to Rap, what I would suggest when reading this book or listening to it in audio is contextualizing your expectations, what you expect out of your career, currently and where you see yourself succeeding. Now, a really good example with this is I had a student recently who is still trying to get shows in his local area. He's open for a lot of like household names, people you know, absolute hip hop legends. He's got buzz. I'll admit he's fucking nice on the mic, but he calls me up on our first coaching class and he talks about, well, I'm really trying to decide if I should release all my music free like Chance the Rapper does and just make money off concerts and tours, or should I maybe get paid off a little bit of streams but keep it real like Chance and all this kind of stuff. And I'm sitting here telling him like, look, bro, you still don't have like even one show this next month. You know, you're still trying to bust 1,000 followers on SoundCloud. You're thinking too far ahead. So one of the great things this book does is kind of check your ego and the expectations. You might be watching this. I know a lot of How to Rap fans watch this shit and they're like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, my third album is going to be called The Resurrection because like Jesus was raised on the third day. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be number 3. You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, dog, you haven't released a song in 2 months. Where's the third album? Ain't got the third song, motherfucker, right? So this is gonna be a very good and humbling experience. Now, for you rappers that watch me that maybe already have a little buzz or whatever, this is gonna be a really good one to understand that even in your current success, you're gonna have to temper it and you're gonna fail again. It's coming, dog. Like, I know as well as anyone, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when YouTube wasn't as big as it was, and like 1,000 views was just like, oh my God, you know, 200 people follow me, like, da-da-da-da-da. You know, I was feeling real good. Over time, you know, other YouTubers came into it, the platform became like TV, and now I gotta step my game up. So I certainly relate to the idea of like, I was succeeding at one point, and there's going to be a failure or disappointment along the way. So this is a really good book for that. And lastly, for you folks that feel like, you know, nothing is going right, nobody believes in me and all that, that third portion, the failure portion, is going to be real good because it's really going to give you context for maybe what it is even now, even in your failure, you're being a little egotistical. Right? It's sort of like, oh, I'm the worst person in the world. No failure, no pain, no depression is at the level of my depression, and nobody could ever suffer like I suffer. Even that's fucking ego talk. That's even that is like, I'm the most important at being sad. Like there was an old Friends episode, damn, I just said that. Friends episode where this girl was breaking up with Ross, one of them motherfuckers, and she was trying to comfort him, but she was kind of playing him because she was like, you know, you're the best at being the worst boyfriend. And he's like, what? Yeah, you're the best worst boyfriend. And he's like, at least I'm the best at something, you know? And so that's the kind of vibe that a lot of people are getting when they're in failure and depression mode. It's just, oh, I'm me. It's still me talk. Just the other side of the ego. So that's a little quick review, no editing, just raw shit about this book. Go check it out. I got it in Audible. I don't have no fucking Audible code. Tell me if you guys like this in the comments. Little book reviews. I'll be tearing up these fucking Audible books. I also like to read just paperbacks and all that shit too. So I might throw this into the whole How to Rap world, the fucking vision, whatever the fucking vision is. I don't know. Is that the ego? Whatever it is. So thanks for watching. And of course, at the end of every video, I need to remind myself, I got to make this money and also got to coach you motherfuckers. If you'd like to be coach, if you want some of my private book recommendations, as creepy as that sounds, be sure to check my coaching class in the video description box below, where you can work with me directly and rappers from around the world. But regardless, hopefully this was a good review. Thanks for watching. It's the big homie Drew, live from Las Vegas, Vegas strong. I'm out.